Hello everyone! Welcome back to the new video of the Realistic FPS series. In this video, we will create our ADS system. Don't forget to join our Discord server. We talk about UE and the tutorials here. Also, if you want to support me and get the assets for tutorials, you can become a member in Buy Me a Coffee. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's start. So first, go to First Person BP and get the IA_ADS input. In the last video, we forgot to set the sense variables category, so let's do it now. Then create a Boolean variable called ADS held. Get two set nodes. Connect the pins and set the first one to true. Add a branch. Then get our weapon and reloading from it. Connect it to NotBool and connect to the branch. Add a custom event called Enter ADS. From the true output, call the stop sprint event. Then add a timeline called TL_ADS. Set its length to 1 second and enable use_last keyframe. Add a float track and name it ADS_alpha. Then add keys as shown. Select all the pins, right-click on one of them, and select Auto, then adjust the line as shown. Get the timeline and set the play rate. Add a divide node and promote B to a variable called ADS speed. And set the default value to 0.35. And set A to 1. Add a custom event called Exit ADS. Add a Boolean input called fast. Then add a branch and get the timeline. From the true output, set its play rate to 3. And connect both pins to reverse. Add a branch node and check if sprint toggle is true. From the true pin, call the start sprint event. Connect the pins to reverse. Promote the float output of the timeline to a variable. Then get our first-person camera and get the post-process settings from it. Then get the set members node. Search for vignette intensity and enable it. Add a lerp and set the values to 0.1 and 0.5. Get the ADS alpha for the alpha. Now we are going to change the FOV of our character, but it is not necessary. So you can see the difference. If you want to have the FOV effect, add these nodes. We do the same thing, but this time we change the FOV of our camera. You can see your camera's default FOV here. We also create an ADS FOV variable so we can change it easily. Our zooming works, but not character animations. In this event, we first check if we are reloading. Then we stop sprinting and start the timeline. And when we release the ADS key, we check if we are still pressing Shift. Then it automatically starts sprinting, and then we reverse the timeline. And we also created two custom events, one for starting ADS and another for stopping ADS. And in the second part, we just set the vignette effect and the FOV effect with ADS alpha. Select all the pins, right-click, and select Collapse Nodes. Name it ADS event. Now we are going to modify our movement events for the ADS system. First, we are going to make some changes on the new speed event. If you are using the old one, I will show it after this one too. After this node, add a branch and check if ADS alpha is greater than 0. If it is, call the exit ADS event and set the fast to true. Connect the pins. Then, after this node, add a branch and check if ADS held is true. If it is, call the enter ADS event and connect the pins. Copy and paste the last codes as shown. For the old sprint system, we are going to use the same things, but only 2 times. Then go to Reload event and call the Exit ADS event before the reload and enable the fast option. Add a new vector variable called ADS offset. Set all these variables categories to ADS. Call the Event Begin Play node. Get our weapon and call the Equip event. Because we haven't spawned our weapon in the world yet, we will auto-equip it. Go to the Equip event, get the player ref, create a new vector variable called a ds_offset, and set the player's offset variable to the weapon's offset variable. Then go to the M1911 skeleton. And add a socket called Sight. We should place this socket at the location where the sight is. So if you are using your own weapon, try to place this socket in the side of the weapon and try to place it perfectly. Also, the rotation and scale are not important, just focus on the location. To make your job easier, go to the anti-near clip function, press 1 and left click at the same time, and connect the output to the result. So it is much easier to place the socket. If you are using the same weapon, enter the values as shown. After you place the socket, don't forget to fix the function. Now go to the Blueprints folder and create a new folder called ADS_calc and create a new blueprint actor in it. Name it BP_ADS_calc and open it up. This actor will get the location of our weapon's sight and calculate its offset with our character to move our character's arms. So we are going to create a clone of our first-person character hierarchy. If you've made changes on the character hierarchy, make these changes in this one too. Add a capsule component and set its capsule's half height and radius as shown. Then add a scene component and set its X to -10. Add a sprint arm and set its target arm length to 0 and location to 0, 0 and 60. Then add a camera and reset its location. Add another spring arm to the scene component set its location to 0, 0 and 60 and set its arm length to 0. Then add another scene component and a skeletal mesh. And set the skeletal mesh's mesh to sk_mannequin arms and the location Z and rotation Z as shown. Set the animation mode to asset and select the FP_PS_idle animation. Then disable looping and playing. Add another skeletal mesh. Name it weapon. Set its socket to socket_M1911, mesh to M1911, and reset its transform. Lastly, add another scene component called ADS_location. And set its X to 25. This is the location where your weapon will move to when you press the ADS button, so you can adjust it as you like. Then go to the construction script, get the ADS underscore location, and get the world transform of it. Get the weapon, get the socket transform, and set the socket name to sight, then split it into pins. From the world transform, get the inverse transform location node and connect the pins. Then multiply the output with a vector. And set the vector to -1, 1, -1. Add a new vector variable called ADS underscore output and enable the instance editable option. Lastly, set the variable as shown. Drag and drop the actor into the world. And copy the ADS output value. Then go to weapon underscore M1911 and set its ADS offset by pasting the copied value. In this event, we simply calculate the offset for our character. You can imagine it like this laser. We calculate the value that we should add to our arms to move our pistol to the ADS location. Open up the animation BP and go to the event graph. Get the player ref and get ADS alpha from it. Subtract the alpha from 1 and promote the outcome to a variable called ADS alpha. Then lerp it between 0.3 and 1. And promote the value to a variable called ADS alpha lerp. Create a function called modify for ADS. Get walk anim alpha and multiply it with ADS alpha lerp. Don't promote to a variable. I made a mistake and we'll fix it in a minute. Just set the walk anim alpha to the outcome. Get the crouch alpha and multiply it with ADS alpha. This is the part where I fixed the mistake. Set the walk anim alpha and set the crouch alpha to outcomes. Get the ADS alpha lerp, multiply it with 0.8, then multiply it with dip alpha, and set the dip alpha to the outcome. Go to the event graph, get the ADS offset from the player ref, and promote it to a variable. Then open up the anim graph and add a transform bone node. Set the bone to spine underscore 03 and the translation mode to add to existing. Remove the rotation and the scale pins. Enable inter-result and set the increasing to 15 and the decreasing to 30. Get the ADS alpha, 1 minus it, and connect it to alpha. Then get the ADS offset, split it into pins, and connect the Y. Then add another transform node, set the bone to spine_03, and remove the rotation and the scale pins. Set the alpha to the same value, and connect the translations as shown. Select the nodes, press C, and name them ADS. Don't forget to set the translation mode to Add to Existing. Lastly, get the FPS idle and get a blend. Then duplicate the animation. Get the ADS alpha for the alpha. And set the first animation's play rate to 0 and disable looping. And you can delete the calculation actor from the world too. Our ADS system is complete. You can use this system with attachments and other things too, and it's also compatible with all kinds of weapons. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Also, join our Discord for help and assets. If you have anything in mind, just comment down below. See you in the next video.